Hey everybody, how you doing? Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel today. We've got a video about cruise credits. Should you take your cruise credit or should you take the cash refund instead? Thanks again for joining me today. Traveling with Bruce, 61,000 plus subscribers, growing every day. Thank you for supporting me on PayPal, subscribing, thumbs ups, comments, all the good stuff. Should you take the future cruise credit these cruise lines are offering? Or should you take the cash? Because a lot of cruises have been canceled in 2020 and more for 2021. We're talking about millions of folks. We're going to have to see how this plays out here. By the way, also, if you make a donation to this channel, thank you. $10 or more US, you get one of these guys right here, your own postcard. Become a sponsor member of my channel. You automatically get one of these postcards from Creston, and you can join me Mondays and Fridays, 7 o'clock Mondays, 3 o'clock Eastern Time Fridays for live sponsor member hangout shows. We do have a good time, and I look forward to seeing you. All right. I really I go back and forth on this topic from my angle, but I got to say that lately, as these cruises have been canceled again and again and more of them, you got to wonder if it might be just time to not bother keeping cruise credits and just taking the cash, because you might have a little more flexibility than if you don't. There have been horror stories printed lately about people who've had future cruise credits, and they were given a bump up. They had a $8,000 cruise paid for. They lost the cruise because it was canceled, so they were given a $10,000 cruise credit. Went ahead and booked a cruise with that, only to have that one get canceled. And now they can't get a cash refund. They can only use future cruise credits. And the cruise they've wanted to go on originally, they try to book it now. It's a $14,000 cruise. Now you got to come up with another $4,000 on top of this $10,000 credit. What good is a $10,000 credit if it doesn't even get you a cruise that you wanted in the first place? You've already paid $8,000 for. Makes no sense. Anyway, here are some reasons why. Apart from that reason, here are some reasons why people are taking cash and giving up on the cruise credits, the future cruise credits. At the beginning of the whole pandemic thing, back in March of 2020, the thinking was that 60, 90 days out, we'd be okay, and things will get resolved. The virus will ease up a bit. There'll be much healthier protocols followed from a health point of view, and then cruising will start yet again. So people were thinking, I'll take the future cruise credit. I'll take the bonus that these cruise lines are offering, anywhere from 10 to 25% higher, credit. I'll take that and go on another cruise. Well, now we don't know for sure when cruising will restart. We keep getting told by the cruise lines that, they've only canceled now till the end of February, and hopefully in March we'll go. Well, it used to be we'll start in January. Before that, we're going to start in November. Before that, we're going to start in August. It's just been one delay after another, and we now see the viruses everywhere, and the vaccines are just coming out now. And we begin to notice that, we're beginning to figure out, some of us may not be vaccinated until like the summertime, July, August, September. So really, if you take a future cruise credit, and decide to rebook it, you might not be able to rebook until late 2021. And you don't know what the rules are at that point in time. You don't know if by 2021, you got your vaccination, but they still want a COVID test, a negative COVID test, and that might run you $200 a person. Who knows? You might need additional health screenings by airports, by the countries that you're going to fly into, and or when you come back home. You may still have other restrictions that just may not suit you and, agree with you, and you're just going to go, why would I lock myself in to do a cruise if these rules are going to be the way they are, or possibly be the way they are? I think I'll just take the cash and have my flexibility that way. The itineraries may be changed by the cruise lines. That's another thing people don't think about. They had a cruise that was booked for 12 days for maybe a Panama cruise, or Panama Canal, partial Panama Canal, or whatever. They want to do that cruise again, well, only to find out, no, the CDC is not allowing any cruise longer than 7 days for most of 2021, and there's a change. Other itinerary changes are you've had your heart set on going to certain cruise ports, maybe in Europe or in the Caribbean, And you book a cruise with those changes, with those ports, and by the time your cruise is announced and confirmed, and getting close to 90 days away, the cruise line completely changes the itinerary because of health issues or immigration issues or who knows what. And now you haven't got the cruise you wanted, and you're kind of locked in. The length of cruise could change. I've just mentioned that. The ship might be changed on you. You've got your heart set on going on the brand new Odyssey of the Seas, or you want to go on the Norwegian Epic, or whichever ship you want, and you make all the arrangements, all the bookings and the future cruise credits are all locked in, and 2 months before your cruise, no, the cruise line has decided that the ship you wanted is going to be redeployed to Asia, and the ship you're going to get is 8 years older, and the cabin isn't the same cabin, of course, and there's just all kinds of hassles. That could happen. The cost of the cruise might go up by the time you take your cruise, and your credits aren't high enough. I've already mentioned that story. You can't get cruise deals on these last-minute offers. You can only get deals that the cruise line offers you under the Future Cruise Credit Program. Don't be surprised if the cruise lines change the rules and say, yeah, cruise credits are great. You got $5,000 in credits, $2,000 in credits, whatever it is. Here are the cruises you can book under those credits. But those last minute deals that you're seeing, you can't get those. They're cash only. And you're going to pay top dollar for a cruise versus getting that discount deal you were hoping to get. You may have to pay extra for stuff like mandatory health and travel insurance. It could well be that the countries that these cruise lines would like to sail you to in the future might say, you know what, for our safety and our protection, we're going to insist that all passengers coming in on cruise ships have medical insurance, evac insurance, trip cancellation insurance. Otherwise, we can't let the cruise in. And you go to the insurance companies to get a quote for the service. Maybe the cruise line will offer it to you, maybe they won't. You compare prices between the cruise lines and private insurance companies out in the real world, and you find out that it's hundreds of dollars for each of you to go on the trip, additional, that you just weren't counting on. These are the kind of surprises you really don't want to get caught with. Testing costs. It could be, too, that you might still need a test before your cruise, during the cruise at various ports of call, or when you come back, and there may or may not be quarantine rules in place, self-isolation rules in place. Again, with a future cruise credit, you're kind of stuck. You gotta use the credit, otherwise you lose it, and now you're stuck with these additional fees and inconveniences that you just didn't want. Here's another thing to think about: you've got a future cruise credit. You got to use it by a certain point of time. You've gone ahead and you've made your new reservations. You're locked in and ready to go, and then you find out that holy moly, these port charges and fees have risen so much at various ports of call that we're going to that we got to cough up another couple $100 each just to be able to take these cruises. A lot of ports out there have been making improvements, but also have been cash strapped for quite some time, and they might be upping their fees as far as health checks are concerned. Their customs and immigration people, all these fees might be coming at you. You have to keep that in mind too. And like I say, you may have to book a cruise you really don't want. You've got a future cruise credit, but it's going to run out in 90 days. And if you don't book something in the next 90 days, you've kissed it all goodbye. You can't get cash. And the cruise you want, you can't get. It's sold out. Cruise lines are only going to bring out so many ships at a time and slowly build up their fleets. By the time you want to book, there aren't enough ships to go around, and the only cruises you can get are cruises that you've done before on ships that you don't really want to go on. You're stuck with the cruise line that you booked with. So if you're booked with Norwegian, it's Norwegian. If you've booked with Carnival, it's Carnival. You can't go to somebody else with a cruise credit. You got to book with who you have. Remember, folks, cash is king, and if you've got cash, you book the cruise you want, when you want, with whom you want, on what ship you want, right up until 30 days, 2 weeks to go before the cruise. You see a deal, you can jump on it. You have maximum flexibility, and that future cruise credit might sound great, but it really is going to work for you. Those are some of the reasons why folks are taking cash instead of cruise credits.